out there. I haven't started streaming in quite a while, so I figured I'd do a nice little stream, see how that all goes. Been playing around with some of the new stuff that's been coming to MiSTer lately. Been rather enjoying this one. Not great at it yet, but I'm alright. So the non-scrolling or, your choice scrolling sort of small, which are rare, and I'm already getting blown up, that's fun. But it's got a lot of fun little aspects to it. One of the biggest things about how this game works is the shielding system. See, the little P icons you pick up give you an amount of power, and if you pick up a few of them, you get enough to rebuild another shield. Which is kind of fun.
Good job.
Otherwise, it's pretty decent, but, a little bit weird of a shmup, as, auto-scrolling. This is the other weird thing about it, is that it's got two kinds of levels. These 3D ones are strange, and there's kind of only 3 tracks to go on, but you can turn around, and where things are in space kind of matters. So, yeah, they're strange. Not bad, but strange.
Ready.
Quite the pin. Oh yeah, that's a fun one. So the other new one that I've actually been playing a little, it's called Guardia, although we're gonna have to switch views to my vertical for that one sec. There we go. Guardia is kind of like a, you know, advanced version of Gradius in a lot of ways. It has the whole, you know, two different forms of fire and, you know, the futuristic theme like Gradius and all that. It was made just a little bit after Gradius and very obviously something of a clone, but a lot more different power-ups and stuff and a lot more going on. Things about how the power-ups are done, although there are two ways. One of them is by destroying ground targets, which will occasionally release a power-up. See the little ball that floats in front of you that's like your bomb location, just like in Xavius? But unlike Xavius, your bomb is immediate upon pressing the button, like it automatically is in the place you press the button at. But I have to get a lot better at dodging the weird little rotating things around the power-ups. So, as you see, not good at it yet, but I'll learn it. It takes time. Yeah, this is pretty old school, 1986, so at the same time the NES was new, you know? So yeah, those are the most recent shmups we've been adding, but there's all kinds of, you know, stuff that's been here a while that's really cool that I've been playing a lot. We're gonna go with some Varth today. Now, Varth is a horizontal shooter which has some aspects of R-Type in that it's got a shielding system in that you get basically option sort of things that are shields in front of you. You don't start with them. It's a power-up, but it's one you'll get pretty quickly usually. Now, one of the weirdest things about Varth is that it's insanely long, as shmups go. In most shmups, you got like, 6, 7 levels, maybe 10 if it's like 1943 or something like that. No, this thing's got 30 levels. And until you get to the end, they're all pretty sizable levels. I mean, they're not, short, quick levels or anything in that either. It's not like Bubble Bobble sort of stuff. Another of the weird things about Varth that you might have just noticed there is I didn't die when it seemed like I should have. Well, that's because whenever you pick up any sort of a power-up or even just a point pickup, you're invincible for a moment. You can actually use that invincibility to stay alive a lot of the time. But yeah, it's not a very long time frame. There I go. But it's notable. But yeah, Varth is also the sort of game where I'm kind of pretty screwed over if you die even once, so kind of got to reset, especially in the early stages. It's not a game that you can recover in. Some of the later ages are more recoverable. They throw power-ups around like they're candy then, but in the early stages, not really recoverable. But I'm obviously not really feeling that one right now, so... Show you another really weird old school one called Finalizer I've been playing sometimes lately. Old school Konami. Even older than Guardia, 1985. I gotta set the controls on this. It's been a while since I did it. So Finalizer is mostly about collecting power-ups and the like. Although instead of getting a permanent power-up, I got a temporary one because I accidentally fired one too many shots, which happens. It's got that whole 1943 shoot the power-up to change it sort of thing going on. And you actually turn into a mech with the power-ups. This is the first level of the mech, where you're basically like the torso of a mech in hands, but you're missing the head portion, which you get from the next power-up. And there's points because I blasted it one too many times. That one, but happens up, and yep. Like most shmups, it's pretty much one-hit kill, with the exception of you can use your shield sometimes to block shots if you have the mech forms. Missed that one barely. But yeah, power-ups spawn pretty frequently in this, so it's a little more recoverable than a lot of the old school shmups, because there's so many power-ups. As you see, it's using my shield because it's on the correct side, but not quite enough hit points to get through that mess. And I hate this spawn. There we go, a little better now. I got these things. You can't kill at this point because you don't have the strength, but at least not die. Around that. But yeah, it's Finalizer. Another of the recent things that we've been getting from Jotego chiefly. with his new Konami cores and the continuing work on Sega System 16. That's what all the new ones were, you know, other than Varth, which is a CPS-1, and that one's been around quite a while. But yeah, I often just kind of float between things and do one credit each in whatever thing I'm doing at the moment. Because that's how I find things to be fun, rather than, you know, I would just banging out the same game again and again. There we go, got the loading. This one's been here a while if you're on No Objects Patreon. This is Dangan Feveron. Looks like we got okay. There we go.
Ready? Go!
That's okay. Control set wrong, so I wasted a bomb. Fix that in a moment. Probably just 2 credits of this so I can play one after fixing the controls. What I'm used to. Right now it's just the default controls. So the weird thing about this one is it's very much a, you know, meddling sort of game. You've got to, if you want to get anything of a decent score, you've got to collect pretty much every little falling guy. See the little falling guys that I'm running to get and dying trying to get? The little falling guys, they form a chain which forms pretty much the entire basis of your score. Based on how far along in the chain you are, everything you do, everything you kill, it's worth points equal to the point in the chain you're at. And if you miss even one little guy going all the way down between the bottom and the top, mind you, he comes down to the bottom and then to the top. You miss even one, you lose your chain. Down to my last life already after stage 1. And it was a little bit low of a chain, but at least I'll give you the idea. Actually playing kind of directly on my capture device right now rather than playing on my fancy CRTs. That's the way I felt like sitting. And I'm discovering that I'm not quite as good this way. Which is okay. Yeah, it's a little taste of Dangan Feveron, always a fun one. Really, really fast. One of the ways that it's often described is that it doesn't really play like a cave game, even though it's cave. Yeah, I got my CRTs turned off right now because I'm playing directly on my capture device, but I do actually have fancy CRTs to my right, which, you know, you can read the description to read the crazy setup that I'm sitting in.
Ready? Go!
But sometimes I feel like doing something a little bit for a change, and right now what I'm doing for a change is seeing, you know, how quick this works by playing on the capture device, because it's fun. But nice to see you, Tenno-ko. Anyway, you know, I'm playing things badly today. Let's switch over to the next thing. L5 owner, same here. Yep, that's one of my two. Yep, 14L5, great machine. Wonderful for, especially for my Xbox 360 and PS3 stuff, because it actually does, you know, up to 1080i. It's absolutely amazing playing, you know, those things on it. But today we're doing MiSTer. Ah, the 20 and a multi-scan 420 GS. Nicer stuff than I've got. And you read what I've got. What is in the description is still accurate. But the only thing that's not accurate actually is the is I am actually playing on a newly built, basically handmade mix box using a new fighting board that was very recently developed. In fact, I literally have one of the first runs of it called the Pico fighting board, which is made to be vaguely board compatible, and it's pretty comparable to the Zero Pi, but has a few more features that you can play with, including stuff like changing the way it does SOCD, which I actually utilize in my setup because I'm using a last input style SOCD as opposed to a yep, Omni does need an external SOCD if you need SOCD support. But yeah, otherwise it's a mixed box, uses all crown buttons and the actual like joystick pad, because mixed box, right, is from it's one of the like Tetromino one. It's a T-spin, as they call them, if you look them up. Made by the same people who make the Omni. It's sort of the more open source version of it. And it's been quite good for my needs. In fact, it's probably the best controller I've ever used. Yep, I've heard of the Keycon as well. Saw stuff about it when I was trying to build my little toy here. Really not doing this boss well at all. But yeah, as things go, it's actually been a really nice controller since I built her. It does all the things, and it does them well. At least if you like mix boxes. And for the next credit, we'll do a rounded good old Dodonpachi. That one's actually available in the public cores if you're a MiSTer fan. By Null Object, same guy who wrote the Danganronpa we were playing earlier, and you see the weird little thing there because it's clearing the RAM that was effectively still stored in that RAM because it never got overwritten by Dimahu. Anyway.
Atlas. Presented by Kane.
Now I have to do the thing we always have to do when playing Dodonpachi, that that doesn't save. Do that every time I boot the thing up. That way I've got a rapid fire button without, you know, doing weird stuff.
Select your battle fighter. Okay. The countdown begins.
And yeah, I've been practicing CL lately.
1, go.
Because that's probably considered the best ship for really high-end score runs, although it's actually something of a difficult ship. And I'm already dying on it. Yeah, we'll reset that. Can't die that quick and do it in bocce. One of the weird things about this core is that if you reset, it takes a moment to wake up, and you have to press keys to get it to wake up, like press a key or two. Now it's being even weirder, and it's not even waking up. Maybe just reload the core. Oh, there we go.
Select your battle fighter. Okay.
But yeah, it's a little weirder on resetting, but it does work very well once it's running though. And it does remember the setting that I set through a reset, although it doesn't remember it if you fully reload the core. Yeah, this is definitely a little laggier than running it on the pure CRT. Really feeling it, Dodonpachi. You can play it this way, but you may have to just turn around and turn the CRT on. Yay, all bees! But yeah, I'm no expert Dodonpachi player, but I'm alright. And there we go, through the first boss. Haven't died. Not too bad. Haven't died nor used bomb. I always think the hitbox in Dodonpachi is a little higher than it is, and it's a little lower than I ever think it is whenever I'm playing. I don't know why. I think I've still got to get used to. one of the weird things about Dodonpachi, if you haven't played it before, is that you actually do a lot more damage if you're right up on whatever you're firing at. It actually has such a thing as point-blank damage that matters. Thought I hit my bomb fast enough. I'm just gonna try to bomb through it just to get to the next level, but not quite. Me being me, I don't tend to credit feed. I just, you know, continue to try to learn how to 1cc these things. That's how I play.
Atlas.
Let's get out the other fun thing from the cave core. You have to be in the beta to see this one on S-Brave. There's also a good port on Switch, of course, but if you don't have that, this core is a great way to play the game. And will be prosecuted to the full extent of the jam. Yes, that's actually what it says. Because Cave no speaking English good. That's okay though. Quite get through that time, but yeah, really noticing that lag. Feels like it's time to get up the CRT and try another round through everything. See what kind of difference it makes. Feel the lag more in this one than in any of the others so far. Yep. All right. Don't mind me just moving around to face that 14L5. That's the one I keep turned on its side. Yeah, if you're not familiar with S-Brave, it's got some interesting, weird system stuff in it. And that the best way to kill anything big enough to matter for both score and for dropping more icons is to hit it with your secondary shot, that one that plays straightforward for this character, first, and then finish it with your normal shot. Do that, you get a lot more points and more icons drop. I didn't even see that one. Sorry? Possible. Okay. You see back there. One of the cool things about this one is that especially if you know the scoring, the icons flow pretty fast and free, and those icons also power-ups, so if you actually get hit, it's a lot better to recover than a lot of other cave games. just more as practice sessions than real 1cc attempts or anything. But let's go, and now for something completely different. Another weird little vertical game I enjoy, Speed Rumbler. Which is truly its own arcade core. Similar to a lot of the other sort of quote-unquote CPS 0 stuff. Basically Capcom stuff pre-CPS 1. There's a lot of similarities, but none of it's quite exactly the same. Yep, was doing some S-Braid. Might go back to that one in a bit, but I tend to kind of play around with all kinds of stuff on my MiSTer. It's kind of how I have fun. And I figured I hadn't streamed in a while, so I'm just going to stream the way I have fun with my MiSTer. I usually play exactly one credit of various games, and occasionally I'll go back and switch back to one of the previous games. But yeah, this is all played on the MiSTer FPGA device. If you want more info about that, feel free to ask. And these are all, you know, full FPGA cores of everything. What my, yeah, that was not so good. Use a new card. There we go. New card swap went good. This is a fun and weird one, also known as Russian Crash sometimes. Think of it by its original Japanese name of the Speed Rumbler. And there we are, level 1. But yeah, I do enjoy my old school arcade stuff, and that's honestly most of what I use the MiSTer for. Is playing old arcade games like this. And among that, though, I count Neo Geo because, well, that's one of the few things I don't own. Well, that and old art, like proprietary computer emulation. I do want it a lot. Things like Amiga and Commodore 64. Expect to take that many hits that quick, but it happens. There's a lot of cool weird artifacts off the screen. As you can see, not all the cores are perfect yet, and this one isn't quite perfect. You get interesting artifacts on the screen of this one. I almost always lose my car on that. It's hard to get through those things. what I usually do is I play one credit of just about anything. So I'm going to play it until I've played my one credit, and then I'll switch out. And what do I switch out to? Well, whatever I'm in the mood for at the moment. Usually I just kind of run through the menu and switch to something. But the only thing is, especially since I'm playing on my CRT now, I'm likely to stay with something vertical. I set your speed wrong, so let's do another round of good old Varth. CPS-1 shmup that's, well, a little less known and mostly notable for how crazy long it is. I've been kind of working on this one for a long time to try to get to 1cc'ing it. It's got 30 levels. Until you get to about 25, they're not short. They're all unique too, other than, you know, the boss rush stuff near the end of the game. Other than that, it's all unique levels and just really well made. Yeah, it's got something of an art type feel because those orbs you see in front of the ship that actually do block shots. Which makes for some interesting, like, space management stuff. Yeah, I always have fun with this one. Like I said, I've actually been trying to learn to 1cc this one. I can often get as deep as, you know, like probably about, you know, like I think the longest I've done, I've actually gotten into level 20 without having to put in another coin. Also, love the music of this one. Absolutely stellar music tracks. Things about this one is that the bombs in it, like, rebuild themselves. When you fire a bomb after a little bit of time and a little bit of, you know, wiggling around, that speeds it up, your bomb will actually be back. fourth extra one that I have right now wouldn't grow back, so to speak, once I use that one, it's gone. They only rebuild up to 3. Yeah, I've always enjoyed Barth. It's a pretty fun one. Boss level. And includes one of the weirdest things, one of the weirdest little Easter eggs I've ever seen in a shmup. Which we're about to show. There it is. Yes, that was a Shoryuken you heard, and yes, that is Ryu jumping in the screen. You get random power-ups when you shoot him. Completely random. Although we're almost at max power, so it doesn't really matter that much to me what I get, other than, you know, maybe some points. You see that was just worth points because I'm already at max. At least for main gun. I think I'm 1 short of max for missiles right now on max at main gun. And this is how it starts. Yep, just like the fire snakes are some of the few things in this entire game that your shields won't provide. They actually gave me a full power pickup to cover right there. That was nice. No idea how I died there, but it happens. This is probably my favorite song in the game. It's got a lot of great music. I always love this one. Recovery there. Right now. Yep. Fun game though. It's definitely one of those games we almost have to know miss it. unless you get lucky and get the star, it's really hard to recover in that one. Sure, although it's not great, I always have fun with it and it's weird. Show off Grabda. Weird old, very fast Namco game. Redo the settings for it. Alright. Yep, I lost the first life. It, like I said, it's really fast. So if you missed a little, you died. Little tank, and you move really slowly, and you kill the other tanks. You fire super fast, but you move really slowly. Those little explosions do kill things, including you. As you see, explosions kill things. Hey, Blur SDG, nice to see you. Just playing weird stuff on MiSTer today, just for fun. Yep, the Crimson Clover art's what I've been using as my background art for quite a while. It works pretty well. But yeah, I just often, this is how I have fun on MiSTer. And I figured, you know, I got nothing better to do today. I'm just gonna stream it exactly the way I do it when I have fun. Which is to say, I play a credit of a thing, and I move on and play another credit of a different thing. Sometimes I'll go back to the same game a few times, sometimes I won't. Yeah, let's do another round of Esprit. Oh, feel free. I mean, it's moderately easy to find art. It's, you know, right out there online, and they just took a nice Crimson Clover background and tossed it on there. It just looked really good, especially when playing the vert games. You see about how much the space the vertical takes up. It's, you know, it only hides a little bit of the edge of each ship, and the ships are mostly visible. It works great. Another of the weirdest things about Esprit, if you're not used to Esprit, it actually has different level orders depending on the character you pick, and you can change the further in levels by different button combinations when selecting your character. Each character has a different level they always start on, and the start level is always set, but the order of which ones you hit is 2 and 3 is changeable by button combinations, where there's a choice for random, and there's basically a choice to order it either way for each character. I always use the same one for consistency. Not so much because it's a better route, but just because having a consistent route is the smarter idea, you know? However, having this one first actually is the one thing that makes MiSTer's route probably the easiest 1cc here. And that's because this boss is far harder when faced with... So you face harder versions of the levels when you face them later in the run. And this boss is insanely difficult when faced later in the run. And also makes the recovery against the infinite damage like I did, because it's pretty easy to farm for icons. There we go. Yep. That's great. Yeah, the music and sound effects are amazing in just about every cave game, honestly. But Asteroid is one of the ones that stands out even a little better. Still not quite as cool as Downgun's Leave Run, but probably my second favorite for sound effects and music after Downgun. Downgun is just insanely cool. Get in the pickle here. Yep. And as I say, I usually just play one credit of a given thing at once. And I may as well play one of the other cool new things that had come out recently. Fantasy Zone 2. Yeah, this is the semi-modern Fantasy Zone 2 remake that was actually made for the arcade. It was made in about 2007, I think. And this was actually made as an arcade board. It was only a mildly modified Sega 16 arcade board. Referred to as the 16C these days. The only game on 16C, which was mildly beefed up over the original. I'm gonna have to hang it knowing exactly when to dodge with that boss. that. Do a round of Demahu.
Are you ready? Mad level up. Shot level up. Mad level up. Shot level up. Shot level up. Level up. Please continue.
Oh, not quite good enough for that one yet.
Game over.
But I'm getting better at that one. Definitely got a whole lot of weird going on, especially if you want to do the scoring in that, because what you need to do for scoring in Demon is actually collect sets of items, like all of the food items, or all of the weapon items, or all of the jewelry items. And you do that by using your charge attack at different levels, releases different levels of items, but it doesn't change the category. It's very strange. Yeah, there's a lot of strange going on in Demon. It's a pretty strange game. Hey Corwin, how's it going? Let's do a round of 19XX. This is a CPS2 shmup. I'm just kind of randomly going through a lot of random stuff, but right now I'm playing a CPS2 shmup. But I'm just kind of randomly going through just about anything that's on arcade on MiSTer. Yeah, pretty much. I'm someone who enjoys playing shmups, and at the moment I'm playing, pretty casually, as well as I play, but I'm no, real 1cc master or anything. Decent. But yeah, I'm just playing kinda... Well, in MiSTer, it's pretty much perfect. I mean, not every game is completely perfect, but they're close enough as you won't even know the difference. And that's, if you had the boards next to each other, you'd be really hard-pressed to find a difference. And that's one of the advantages of MiSTer, is as long as the FPGA core is written well, it is perfect. But the disadvantage is it can only do so much and you're a little more limited. And yes, I played GigaWing Pro Gear, and I was just playing Great Maho Daisaksen. You missed that. Just before, or you came in, I was actually in Pimaho. Or Great Maho Daisaksen, which is the Japanese name for it. But actually, speaking of GigaWing and Pro Gear, how about we do Pro Gear next, now that I've done with my credit of that. I can show that one off to you. I have to switch the mode a little bit for you so you can actually see the horizontal. But yeah, GigaWing and Pro Gear both run quite well. And I'll show off both of them. I'll do a full credit of each. Now, Pro Gear is a fun and weird one, as it has a really weird scoring system. And the way to properly score in it is to mostly kill stuff with your normal main shot, but if you hold down, you get a different shot, which you can also do quickly to collect falling collectibles. And the more of those collectibles you get, the better your score take is if you kill something with the other shot. Gotta have that dodge. This is the secondary shot. You go slower when you're using the secondary shot, but it tracks things. Primary shot for dodging. And that was a little bit of scoring. Because now we're above 1,000, and when we're above 1,000, we actually get good flags. But yeah, as I said, Pro Gear, perfect. You know, a lot better if I can make my dodges. But yeah, she plays perfect. Problems aren't the emulation, problems are me. Of course, it isn't exactly emulation, it's more hardware simulation. It's MiSTer, sort of a different thing. Yeah, that's Pro Gear. I'm not great at it yet, but it does play well. Gigawing, same thing pretty much. I'm not good at it, but it plays well. I'll show you. Yep, at least that specific part of it is lacking that voice acting, but the actual play is just immaculate. Does what it's supposed to do. Plays just amazing. That's the big thing about Cable One. If you haven't played it before, move you can do. It's kind of the main real mechanic. You hold down the button and you can reflex shots. And when you reflex shots, it makes the shield pickups. And you kill something with it. Shield pickups are just like any other pickup, but they end up. Actually, just too slowly. But yeah, once you get the timing of the wielding tricks down, it's generally really cool. Well, if you have a cabinet to put the new, or either of the new cool little JAMA adapters for MiSTer, they're really cool. I don't personally own a JAMA cabinet, so I don't have much use for it. I'm actually just kind of building my own unique cabinet-ish thing to use with MiSTer myself. It's my kind of decision on what to do about that sort of thing. Just too slow. But yeah, that's GigaWing, and it works really well. And yeah, if you have any other questions about MiSTer stuff, feel free to ask. I've been a MiSTer user for a very long time. I'm very, very into the early adopter stage of MiSTer. I mean, when I started with MiSTer, it had, you know, most of the arcade games it had were the really early stuff, and didn't even have Neo Geo yet, you know? Heck, TurboGrafx 16 wasn't CD, and yeah, it still lacked a lot of stuff. Yeah, Mega CD wasn't there either at that point. And lacked a lot of stuff. But it's really come a long way since I got it, especially, because, like I said, I bought it really early on. I'm mostly a shmupper myself. SH3 is probably just a little beyond what's possible. However, Rising stuff, like you mentioned with Battle Go Rega and Bat Rider, that's actually currently under development and probably will be here within a few months. But Cave SH3 is probably a little bit beyond what it will do. We'll probably get the Cave stuff out of PGM, because PGM will probably happen moderately soon. Although apparently, from what I hear, PGM is a bear, but it's within the capabilities. Whereas SH3 and therefore things like say a Dreamcast, which is of similar specs, are probably not going to happen. But a Saturn and a PlayStation probably are. Even with the most stuff plugged into the MiSTer you can do, there just probably isn't quite enough space for an SH3, I'm afraid. I wish. And that would be kind of my dream thing to have on it, but we'll probably have to wait for, a future project on a more capable board for SH3, I'm afraid. Because I would love it if SH3 were coming, but, at least I've got my good Xbox 360 ports for that, right? Yeah. I do have a modded Xbox 360, which I play, you know, most of the S3 era games on because they were pretty much all ported there. Really good, honestly. Yeah, it would be cool to get Red Label in any manner because they didn't include that in the Xbox 360 port. Sure, I'll show you Great Maho. I was just playing that a bit ago. We'll bring it up for you. I do not mind doing requests, especially if they're shooters, because, well, that's what I like playing myself. I'll even play the Great Maho version of it, which is under alternatives, because it's listed under its U.S. name of Dimahu, but we do have the actual Great Maho version. Oh, right, I have to swap the view for you again because we went over to horizontal, so we went from horizontal to vertical. And we also have to do see, which way was it that I got this one to flip? I think this one, oh yeah, I had to do it in service mode. Right, and I think flipping was, no, not 6. Which buttons were which. Anyway, I just reset this so I can. Alright, so it wasn't under 6, was it under 8? No, 8 was the test. Oh, and now it's magically working. I just decided to go to the right way. Okay, then. Oh, one start and shot, that was it. Anyway. Now we've got it facing the right way so we can actually play. Always helps. Because you actually have to do it in the real service menus, like a real arcade board. Part of the fun of MiSTer, huh? Invasion from underground! Yep. The tough bounty hunters. Are you great? We're great.
Are you ready?
But yeah, she plays, you know, pitch perfect. Absolutely no lag, no problems, because, well, it's MiSTer, and MiSTer does what it does very well. I'm not a great player of this game, but I'm alright. But yeah, as you can see, she runs great. No problems. All the weird voice samples and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, this game is just very cool, and I've always really enjoyed it. But for me, real cool overload is probably Bats again more than Bat Rider. Bat Rider's fun, I don't know, but the weirdness of Bats again, you know, just including all the different random ships, and also the fun of having, you know, the ships from the different games and having multiple ships as your life. That was just a lot of fun. There are some Cave first-gen games on MiSTer. There's specifically a, you know, Cave Gen 1 core that doesn't include everything from Cave Gen 1, but has a decent selection of them. So there's Danganronpa, Dodonpachi, Esperade. I think that might have been it on that core. Yeah. Yeah, Guanji is the other one, yeah. Although Guanji only halfway works. Like, Guanji works, but it really slows. Like, it's got way too much slowdown. But the other three all work pretty well, and, well, yeah, Donpachi isn't there yet. Well, Siam, you're in for a treat, because, it's getting pretty good. Basically, Dodonpachi, Danganronpa, and Esperade are all doing pretty well. If you only get them if you're in the Patreon for that, but well, I am, so and show off Dangan.
Ready, go!
Oh, wrong button. Got my buttons misset. Fix that and reset. I always like setting the rapid fire next to my next to the fire you can hold and charge. Anyway, it takes a bit to reset. And yeah, Rising games, including like Bot Rider, may be coming soon. Specifically, that's actually Toa Plant and V2 hardware, and that's currently under development.
Ready, go!
Here we go. Now we go down there. Everything as it properly should. Yeah, the graphics in Dangan aren't quite perfect. It loses some scaling effects that exist in real Dangan, but it plays pretty much perfect. And those scaling effects should be coming shortly. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, MiSTer is doing really well in general. But this is the state of Dangan, and as you see, it's actually quite good and certainly worth playing. Doesn't look quite as good as the real PCB due to the lack of those scaling effects. But plays like a dream. No lag, which is important for Dangan. I mean, how this game plays, you cannot have any lag problems and successfully play it. But yeah, that's Dangan. Right, scaling effect on boss death and other things, but that's the only thing that's really missing in Dangan. Otherwise, Dangan is perfect. Other than that little bit of look, and that's why Dangan isn't released to the public yet, and it's still a beta core, because it's not, it's not quite done. Yeah, Dodonpachi is done. That's the one that's in public right now. Yep, it started with Dodonpachi being, the game they started with. And, that one, like I said, it plays,